So this video is going to talk generically about some of the stuff that we're going to use to find trig functions. So specifically, we're going to talk about special right triangles, and we are going to talk about the unit circle. So there are two special right triangles that show up a lot in the stuff that we're going to do in trig. So two special right triangles. And those two special right triangles are, so one is called the 45, 45, 90 triangle, and the other is the 30, 60, 90 triangle. And so what these numbers are referring to are the degrees of the angles. So this triangle we have 30 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees, and this one we have 45 degrees, 45 degrees, 90 degrees. And what makes these two triangles so special is that the sides are always in the same ratio. Every time you see a 30, 60, 90 triangle, every time you see a 45, 45, 90 triangle, the sides have these certain properties of proportions between them. So in a 45, 45, 90 triangle, we'll start with that one first. The side lengths, so the legs of the triangle, both are the same. 45, 45 means it's an isosceles triangle, which means the legs are the same, so we call them x. And then the hypotenuse is always x square root of 2. So if this side was 5, then this triangle, the side lengths of this triangle would be 5, 5, 5 square root of 2. If it was 3, 3, 3, 3 square root of 2. In the 30, 60, 90 triangle, it's kind of similar, but the side across from the 30 degrees is your x. The hypotenuse is 2x, and then the side across from the 60 degrees is x square root of 3. So if you knew that this side here was 2, it would be 2 times 2, which is 4, and 2 square root of 3. So these two triangles show up a lot for angles that we care about in terms of what is known as the unit circle. So I'm going to move this up here a little bit so we can see. So the unit circle, so first we need to talk about, well, why is it called the unit circle? Well, it's called the unit circle because it is a circle of radius 1. And there are points and angles on the unit circle that are important. So first off, there is the angle where I don't move at all, and that angle is 0 degrees or 0 radians. So if we think about going by 90s first, so we have 0 radians. Up here, we have 90 degrees, or 90 degrees is the same as pi over 2 radians. And so that goes with this point here. We have this point here, which is 180 degrees, or pi radians. We have this point here, which is 270 degrees, or 3 pi over 2 radians. And then we're back to where we started, but if we had gone all the way around once, then we also can say that this is 360 degrees or 2 pi radians. And then there's some other angles that we care about as well on the unit circle. So we care about things that come from 45 degrees because we can use this 45, 45, 90 triangle to get there. So here you have 45 degrees. Or I'm going to write it on the line because our graph is going to get kind of crowded. So this is 45 degrees, or if you changed it to radians, it would be pi over 4. Another 45 degrees brings us back to where we started. We have another 45 degrees, which brings us to 135 degrees, or 3 pi over 4 radians. We have another 45 degrees. Well, this here is another 45 degrees, but we've already labeled it. We have another 45 degrees, which would bring us to 225 degrees, or 5 pi over 4 radians. We have another 45 degrees, another 45 degrees, which would be 315 degrees, or 7 pi over 4 radians. So all of these are points that are on the unit circle. And the idea is, now that I know that it's a 45 degree angle, right, I can figure out what the point here is. And if I can figure out the point, then I know how to use the point to find the x and the y. It gives me my x and y values, which then I can use when I'm trying to determine sines and cosines and stuff like that. So if I were to drop this down, then we know that this long part here is this part here has length 1, because our circle has radius 1. So in our example, we have this 45, 45, 90 triangle. Right? So this is 45, 45. So 45, 45, 90. And I know that this is 1, but I also know that 1 is equal to x square root of 2. And so if I take this equation here, 1 equals x square root of 2, and I divide both sides by root 2, I get 1 over root 2. And while I don't usually rationalize things, this is one of the few times I actually am going to rationalize what x is. So if I multiply top and bottom by root 2, I end up with x being root 2 over 2. So here I have root 2 over 2, and here I have root 2 over 2. So what that means is this distance here is root 2 over 2, and this distance here is root 2 over 2. And I end up with root 2 over 2, comma, root 2 over 2. And I wrote root 3, but it should really say root 2. Just wrote the wrong thing. Root 2 over 2. I said the right thing, but I wrote the wrong thing. Root 2 over 2. And we can do this with other angles as well. If we were to look at, say, the angle 30 degrees, right? So I could put a 30 degree triangle in here. And then I could do the exact same thing, right? So if this is 30 degrees, this up here would be 60 degrees, 90. This hypotenuse here is 1. Here's that right angle. And remember, the 1 is equal to 2x. So if I solve that equation, 1 equals 2x, that's telling me x is equal to, divide both sides by 2, 1/2. And then remember, this side was x, so that means this side here is 1/2. And this side was x square root of 3, which means it's going to be 1/2 times the square root of 3, or root 3 over 2. So along this side, I have root 3 over 2. This side here, I have 1/2. So if I was going to write the point, it would be root 3 over 2, comma, 1/2. So this is where the values from the unit circle come from. So let's go to this next page here. So this is the complete unit circle filled in. I have a unit circle in Canvas that you can go and look at. You can download and print off. You can Google unit circle and find a unit circle. So this is the unit circle. Now, since we're not in a classroom, I am not going to know if you have the unit circle in front of you or not, but the idea is that you really need to memorize the unit circle. The unit circle comes up so much if you're going on and taking any kind of calculus that you just need to know these values on the unit circle. There's a couple ways that you can memorize the unit circle, and I'm going to have links for those in Canvas as well, so that you can go and look at some different ways to memorize the unit circle. You will be tested on the unit circle, so you are going to have to know the unit circle. So just so that you are aware of this, that you really need to understand the unit circle, you need to have it memorized, so that this doesn't come as a surprise to you.